Hey YouTube. Well, it's Friday morning and we're back from the farm show. Naturally, you saw yesterday's video. I just want to make some comments. I gotta wait for the dew to get off the grass so I can cut it good. What I want to comment about is the farm show itself. I gotta tell you that out of everything we saw there, I think that probably the best places to get information was from Cornell University. Had a big display, and they really had some good information there. I mean, there was all kinds of information about everything from, you know, feeding calves to bugs and crop failures and things that, you know, I'm not a farmer, but all kind of good information about stuff. Fruit trees, which we have fruit trees, and all kind of stuff, you know, about how to protect the things that you're trying to grow. And also the second best one there, I hate to say it because government agencies annoy me, but the USDA had a really nice display up at that Empire State Farm Show. They had people there who were really knowledgeable. They were answering questions rather than, you know, putting their noses up in the air at you. So they had a lot of good things going. It's the first time I've ever talked to anybody from the USDA. Apparently they're a lot different mindset than the rest of the government agencies, but anyway, they really had a nice display. Very knowledgeable, answering your questions, trying to give you as much information as they could. I thought that was nice. The wood miser display, we were disappointed in that. I'll be honest with you, it was the 2 hours up and 2 hours back. For us, all we wanted to do was get a pair of suspenders with wood miser written on them. That's what we were looking for. And the show, now it was the last day and maybe the show was better, but they actually had 3 wood misers there, an LT35, I think an LT40, and they had the LT15 wide. Now you saw in the video the guys were struggling because the wide was down on the ground and all, and they were just trying to cut a wide branch on it to show you how big it can cut, which was okay, but nothing else was demonstrated. And not only that, they had caution tape around everything. In the video you can see where my wife was walking all over the place. She don't care what caution tape says, but she figured because she had a wood miser hat on, that gave her carte blanche, so she did what she wanted. But really, they were holding the people at bay. You know, you couldn't get hands-on. One of the reasons I bought my LT15 was because when I went there, a guy by the name of Mike Mann, he said, "Come on and operate it," and that's the thing. You know, when you can get it, you get your hands on it to see what it really does, and they weren't doing that yesterday. Now I don't know if they did it the other 2 days, because like I said, yesterday was the last of the farm show. But anyway, then the tractors and all, those guys did a really good job having a nice display, you know, of all the different brand tractors. It's a shame that the tractors aren't made in the US. I mean, you can tell by the way the steel's been casted, the machining marks on some of the stuff, that it's just not the American way. I'm sorry, you know. I'm not saying, and we've lost that way as well. You know, I don't know how we would do making the tractors nowadays. But anyway, we had a good time. There was good food there. You know, some of the dairy people that, you know, were showing off and talking about their cows and all had really great ice cream and stuff. So that was nice. I'm just saying, you know, that's what we were doing. The other thing I want to add to that, there was cars coming. It would have goofed up the video just now. But anyway, the other thing I'd like to add to my comments about the farm show is that the people who were selling the tractors and stuff, they did a good job. They had a lot of tractors there. There were, you know, all kind of things, like concrete people were there that had concrete flooring for in the stalls, and you know, all kind of stuff. Very expensive though. I would imagine that precast concrete is a lot more expensive than pouring your own. But anyway, they had a lot of good information, especially if you're a farmer, and if you're just a gardener. I think a gardener, a farmer, you know, if you're like a log people, like cutting, like we've been doing, I think that, or forestry I should say, I think that there was good information there for that stuff. As far as the show itself, going all the way up there is a beautiful ride, and you can't beat, you know, I think they're called the Finger Lakes. We were like sort of driving up along the Finger Lakes, and it was nice. the part as far as getting food and stuff, like on your way there, there's not a lot of places to stop. There's a lot of wineries, and I haven't been in those, but I don't know if you can get food there. I would imagine you could, but I don't know for sure. The other thing though is that let me think. Oh yeah, the other thing is that some of the tractors, there was a couple of guys there. There was like one big, I think it was called, I don't think it was called Empire State Tractors, but New York State Tractors or something. But there was one big outfit that sold tractors that actually had quite a few tractors there. And they also had some good deals. I mean, they had some prices on stuff that was pretty low for like one tractor out of their batch on each of the different models. You know, the prices are still high, but like they had a Bobcat there for $26,000 that, you know, weighed twice as much as a car. And I sort of look at the price of steel to go from there, but that seemed like a good deal. There were a couple other ones that were good deals, and if you had the cash, they wanted cash for these things with you, you know, then you could make a good deal. The other thing that I noticed was at that show there was what do you call that? I forget what you call it when you bid on stuff, but I can't think of the name. But anyway, they had one of those shows, and it was huge, and it was all kinds of tractor equipment there, but we were getting kind of tired from walking around all over the place in the hot sun, so we didn't go to that. But I would really like to go to, an auction. I'd like to go to the auction by myself, or maybe just Carmine with me, to look at things. You know, you guys know what I'm talking about. You know, when you take your wife with you, it's not always, unless she's into it, you're sort of hindered by looking at the stuff. But anyway, you know, not to put women down, I'm just saying some people aren't into that. But I would have liked to have gone to that. I didn't go to it, but I would have liked to. The other thing is the way that the show was laid out. It was sprawled out pretty good. I'd say it was maybe, I don't know, maybe 10 acres or better. Lots of parking. The parking was close. You could, you know, I guess a farmer opened his field up for this show. It was $10 to park there, but that was it. There was no other charges anywhere, which, you know, $10 for a carload is nothing. But anyway, we went in there. We parked relatively close. And there were a lot of cars there, but there was a big area to park. So we parked relatively close. The thing that I didn't realize, and I haven't been to a show in a long time, is that they had these little buggies you could rent to get around. If I would have known that, I didn't know that until nearly the end of walking. I would have rented a little buggy for us to drive around so that we didn't have to do so much walking. When you get to our age, I mean, it's just hard walking, and a lot of people don't, you know, get that, especially the younger ones. It's just hard to walk. But the thing is we enjoyed it, and I would recommend that, you know, they're having another show next year. So look it up on the internet, Empire State Farm Show. It was worth going to. I enjoyed it. The people at the show themselves, they were all nice. The people, from the minute you walked into the gate, you know, hello, how you doing, have a good time, until you left, they were handing out little magnets and things. It was just nice. Alright guys, so have a good one, and I'll talk to you later.
Alright guys, so I'm cutting the grass, and then I'm weed whacking, Grandpa's cutting, and there's a huge spider. You guys can see it. You guys see that little black spot right there? That just shows how big it is. I'm going to zoom in on it. I'm not going to touch it or nothing, because this thing is huge. Oh, camera focus, please. I hope it focuses on it. Maybe I got to get closer. This thing is huge. I don't know what kind of spider it is or anything. Maybe one of you guys can figure it out and let me know in the comments then. But this thing is huge. Okay, so this is my finger. I'm not gonna take it too close, but he's easily as big as from here to here on my finger. So he's pretty big. This thing is huge. I'll try and get a clear picture so you guys can see. There you go. That is one big spider. Thought you guys would just like to see that. Maybe you guys can let me know what it is in the comments.
Hey guys, I have a Sears 3500, I think it is GT 3500.
No.
3000, GT 3000. And the brakes haven't worked on it for a while. You know, it's a garden tractor, so I'm not really going fast, but I think I'd like to have a brake on it. But anyway, this is the brake backing, and then there's a fiber thing on there. Well, the fiber thing's wore down to nothing, but it just so happens that an old brake shoe from my Chevy truck, I hung on to it because I thought this might work. So I'm going to cut the shoe out of this, and believe it or not, I believe that's going to work. I'm using one of these grinders to cut it out. So I'm going to cut that, finish cutting that out of there. I'll shape it a little bit with a grinder, and then it should be good. Here's the thing. Yeah. It's a little hot, but there's brake lining on there. There's about a 3/8 of an inch of brake lining left on that, plus the metal. Yow. Yeah. So I'm going to shape that a little bit on the grinder, and I'll bet you that works good. The reason I'm making one of these is because when I went on the Sears parts store, they didn't have any. Gotta grind a little more off there, but this will work. They didn't have any available. Grinding yet, and then I'll fit in there. I'll get back to you when I grind it. So when the brake is off, you can see that that's even with there. But when I pull on that, you can see it goes up, and that'll be just enough there to grab a hold of the disc for the little rotor that's in there.